Hello all. In this video, we will see short circuit evaluation of Boolean expression involving logical OR operator. So let's see an example. Consider the following pseudocode. We are given an integer variable x with initial value 0. We have procedure increment x which increments the value of x by 1 and then returns the value of x to the caller. We have procedure foo which takes one argument a, and then we have a if condition a less than 0. This is our logical OR operator, right? And then here we have given a call to the increment x function. If this if condition is true, then we are going to print the value of x. Okay, this is the code for main, which simply calls foo with actual argument -3. Okay, so let's see how the code will execute. Now before we see the code, we need to know how logical OR operator works. So if for logical OR operator, if two inputs are given to us, like say P and Q, if these are the two inputs which are given to us, right? And if this is your Q, so if both inputs are false, the P or Q will also return false. If one of the input is true, the result is true. And if both inputs are true, still the result is true. So this is our truth table. So we want any one of the input to be true. Okay. So let's see the execution now. What we have done is we have passed -3. So we'll be copying -3 into A. So A is actually -3. So this condition happens to be true. This condition happens to be true. And if you look at the truth table, when you see that the first part of the condition is true, then it really doesn't matter what is the second part of the condition. It can be either false or true. We know the final output. The final output has to be true, because we know that the first part of the condition a less than 0 itself is true. So there is no point in executing this function. We will save time. We will not execute this function increment x. There is no reason that the function should get executed, because the result of this entire if happens to be true, right? Because a less than 0 itself is true, because value of a is -3. So the entire if happens to be true without executing this function increment x, right? So we simply print the value of x, and value of x is still 0. So since short circuit evaluation is in effect, the output of this program happens to be 0. So how this OR operator gets evaluated? It will check if first part of the condition is true or not. If first part of the condition is true, it will directly return true, right? It will directly return true, because if P is true, then return true. Maybe I'll write it properly for your convenience. If P is equal to true, then return true. Else, if P is false, then you can return q, right? Because then whatever is q is, if q returns true, result is true. If q returns false, result is false. Okay, so in this code, this increment function doesn't get executed because the first part of if itself is true and we have logical or operator. It says if first part is true, don't execute second part. So increment x function is not called, so x is not incremented, so x retains its original value. Hence the output of this code happens to be 0. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Thank you.